You are standing in your room. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe there's a faint hum of electricity in the walls or distant traffic leaking through a window. The air feels still, safe, familiar. You reach out and touch something. A desk, a wall, your own hand. It feels solid, but it isn't. Every atom in that wall is mostly empty space. If the nucleus were the size of a grain of sand, the electrons would be orbiting tens of meters away. Everything you trust to be solid is almost nothing. And yet, here you are, held together, alive. Your body, your thoughts, your memories, all of it is built from particles that have existed for billions of years. Some of the atoms in your body were forged inside exploding stars long before Earth even existed. You are not separate from the universe. You are a temporary arrangement of it. And right now, and in this moment, the universe is busy. Stars are burning, galaxies are colliding. Light is traveling across distances so large that by the time it reaches us, entire civilizations could rise and fall unnoticed. But all of this activity, all of this motion, all of this light, it will not last. There will come a time when the universe becomes quiet, not just empty, not just dark, but fundamentally still. No stars, no galaxies, no light, no structure. Nothing you recognize will remain. Right now, the night sky feels infinite. You look up and see countless stars scattered across darkness, as if they will always be there. But even those stars, even the oldest, most stable ones, are temporary. They are burning through their fuel, slowly, relentlessly. Every second, our sun converts about 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. And it has been doing this for over 4.5 billion years. And one day, it will stop, not explode, not vanish, just run out. And the sun is not special. It is one of hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy alone. Across the observable universe, there are more stars than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth combined. That sounds endless. It isn't. Because every single one of them is dying. Some will go violently, collapsing into black holes or exploding as supernovae. Others will fade quietly, cooling into dark remnants. But none of them will last forever. The universe, as we know it, is running on borrowed time. And the strangest part is this: the era we are living in right now, filled with stars, light, and structure, is not the default state of the universe. It is a brief phase, a fleeting window, a moment of brightness between two eternities of darkness. Before stars existed, the universe was a hot, dense fog of particles and radiation. No galaxies, no planets, no life, just chaos. And after the stars are gone, there will be something even quieter, even emptier, a final era. So far removed from everything we know that even the concept of time begins to lose its meaning. An era no human will ever witness. And yet, it is coming, slowly, inevitably. And when it arrives, the universe will enter a state so strange, so cold, so silent, that even nothing, as we understand it, will feel like something. What happens when the universe runs out of everything? Right now, you are on Earth, a planet about 12,700 kilometers wide, spinning quietly through space at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. You don't feel it, and that feels still. But Earth is not still. It is orbiting the sun at nearly 30 kilometers per second, fast enough to circle the entire planet in just over 20 minutes. And the sun itself is moving too, orbiting the center of the Milky Way galaxy at about 220 kilometers per second. One full orbit takes around 225 million years. Since the time of the dinosaurs, the sun hasn't even completed a full lap. That's the scale you're already living in. And yet, this is just the beginning. The Milky Way contains between 100 and 400 billion stars. If you tried to count them one by one at 1 star per second, it would take you thousands of years just to finish. And our galaxy is not alone. There are at least 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. 2 trillion. That's a number so large it stops feeling real. So make it real. And if every galaxy were a single grain of sand, you could fill entire continents with them. And all of this, every star, every galaxy, every beam of light, exists within the observable universe, a region about 93 billion light-years across. Light, the fastest thing that exists, takes 93 billion years to cross it. And even that is not the whole universe. It's just the part we can see. Now imagine all of that, everything you just pictured, slowly fading away. Not suddenly, not all at once, but over unimaginable stretches of time. In about 5 billion years, the sun will expand into a red giant, engulfing Mercury and Venus and possibly Earth. The oceans will boil, the atmosphere will be stripped away. If anything remains, it won't resemble the world you know. But the sun's death is just a small, local event. Far bigger changes are already underway. The universe is expanding, not just expanding, accelerating. Galaxies are moving away from each other, and the farther they are, the faster they recede. Eventually, distant galaxies will move away faster than light can reach us. Not because they are breaking the laws of physics, but because space itself is stretching. One day, observers in the far future will look out into the sky and see almost nothing. Not because the universe is empty, but because everything else has moved beyond their horizon. The night sky will go dark, a single galaxy isolated in a vast, expanding void. This is the first step toward the end. Then the stars begin to die. Massive stars burn fast and die young, in millions of years. Smaller stars, like red dwarfs, burn slowly. Some can last for trillions of years. Trillions. That's 1,000 billion. Even if humanity survived for the entire lifetime of the sun, we would only experience a tiny fraction of that time. But even the longest-lived stars have limits. Eventually, they run out of fuel. And when the last stars fade, the universe enters what scientists call the degenerate era. No new stars are forming, no new light is being created. What remains are stellar corpses, white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. Cold, dark, silent. Imagine a sky with no stars, no sunrise, no sunset, just darkness, forever. But even that is not the end, because matter itself is not guaranteed to last. Protons, the building blocks of atoms, may not be stable forever. Some theories suggest that over extremely long timescales, protons can decay. And the estimated half-life, if this happens, is at least 10 to the power of 34 years. That's a 1 followed by 34 zeros. To understand that, compare it to the current age of the universe, about 13.8 billion years. If the age of the universe were 1 second, proton decay would take longer than the entire age of the universe, multiplied by 1 trillion trillion. It's not just long, it's beyond intuition. If proton decay occurs, then everything made of atoms, every planet, every star remnant, every piece of matter, will slowly dissolve into radiation. Matter itself will disappear. This is the gut punch. Everything you have ever known, not just destroyed, not just broken apart, but fundamentally erased. And what remains? Black holes. They are the last survivors, massive, silent, patient, Black holes can persist for incredibly long times, but even they are not eternal. Through a process called Hawking radiation, black holes slowly lose mass. They emit tiny amounts of energy, shrinking over time. For a stellar mass black hole, this process takes about 10 to the power of 67 years. For supermassive black holes, the giants at the centers of galaxies, it can take up to 10 to the power of 100 years. That is a googol, a number so large it was once used to represent something effectively infinite. And yet, even that is not enough, because eventually, even the last black hole evaporates. No stars, no planets, no matter, no structure. Just a thin, cold bath of low-energy particles spread across an ever-expanding universe. This is the dark era, the final stage. No light, no heat, no change. Entropy has reached its maximum. The universe has no more useful energy left to do work. It cannot build anything new. It cannot organize itself. It cannot remember. Time still passes, but nothing happens. Imagine waiting, not for minutes, not for years, but for trillions upon trillions of years. And nothing changes. No events, no motion, no difference between one moment and the next. This is not darkness as you know it. This is the absence of everything that gives meaning to existence. And here is the question that lingers. If nothing can happen, does time still matter? Step back, all the way back. Back past galaxies and stars, past planets and atoms, past the quiet death of black holes. Back to where the universe is almost nothing. A thin whisper of energy stretched across distances so vast that even light has no urgency. This is the final picture. A universe that has forgotten how to be alive. No structures remain to mark the passage of time. No observers exist to measure it. No events unfold to divide one moment from the next. And yet, this is not a sudden ending. It is a slow fading, a process so gradual that there is no clear line between something and nothing. Just a long, quiet descent into stillness. Now come back to Earth, back to your room, back to your hand resting on something that feels solid. You are here during the brightest era the universe will ever have. Stars are still burning, galaxies are still visible, energy still flows. The universe is still capable of creating complexity. And out of all the time that will ever exist, from the beginning to the final dark era, this moment is incredibly rare. Not because it is special in design, but because it is temporary. You exist in a narrow window where the universe is active enough to form life, but stable enough for that life to persist. Too early, and there were no heavy elements. Too late, and there will be no energy left to sustain anything. Right now is the middle, the brief, luminous middle. And in that middle, something remarkable has happened. The universe has become aware of itself through you. Your thoughts, your questions, your curiosity. These are not separate from the universe's story. They are a continuation of it. Atoms formed in ancient stars have arranged themselves into something that can look up and wonder where it all goes. That is not small. Even if the universe ends in silence, this moment, this brief flicker of awareness, still happened. It still mattered. Because meaning does not come from how long something lasts. It comes from the fact that it exists at all. The universe will not remember you. There will be no record in the final dark, no trace, no echo. But that does not erase this moment. You are here. You are part of the only era where anything can be experienced, where light still travels, where time still feels like something. And one day, long after everything you know is gone, the universe will settle into perfect stillness. No pain, no joy, no memory, just silence. But right now, there is sound. Right now, there is light. Right now, there is you. And in a universe that will eventually become indistinguishable from nothing, that is everything.